You won't believe what happened inside Courtroom 7 of the Riverside County Superior Court. A beloved actor, a man who had entertained millions for over 3 decades, sat quietly at the plaintiff's table. His hands were folded. His eyes were tired. And across from him sat the woman he once loved more than anything in this world. The woman who nearly destroyed everything he had ever built. This is the story of Marcus Cole versus Victoria Lane, a $50 million defamation lawsuit that would expose lies, reveal hidden recordings, and ultimately show the world that sometimes the person crying victim is actually the one holding the knife. Grab your snacks. Settle in, because what you're about to hear will change the way you look at celebrity scandals forever. Marcus Cole was Hollywood royalty. With a career spanning 32 years, he had become one of the most recognizable faces in American cinema. From action blockbusters to critically acclaimed dramas, Marcus had done it all. Directors loved working with him. Co-stars praised his professionalism. Fans adored his quirky personality and genuine kindness. Then he met Victoria Lane. Victoria was an up-and-coming actress with stunning looks and ambitious dreams. She was 23 years younger than Marcus. When they first crossed paths on the set of a thriller film in 2011, friends say, Marcus was captivated immediately. Victoria was charming, passionate, and seemed to worship the ground he walked on. They married in a private ceremony in 2015. The tabloids called them the perfect Hollywood couple. But behind closed doors, something dark was brewing. Just 15 months after saying their vows, Victoria filed for divorce. She appeared at the courthouse with visible bruising on her face, claiming Marcus had physically abused her during a violent argument. The photos spread across every entertainment news outlet within hours. Marcus Cole, America's favorite leading man, was suddenly being labeled a monster. Marcus denied everything. He claimed he never laid a hand on Victoria. But in the court of public opinion, the damage was already done. Then came the op-ed. In 2018, Victoria wrote a powerful article for a major newspaper. She described herself as a survivor of domestic violence. She talked about losing career opportunities because she spoke out against a powerful man. She never mentioned Marcus by name, but everyone knew exactly who she was talking about. The article went viral. Victoria became a symbol of the movement against domestic abuse. She received speaking invitations, advocacy roles, and praise from millions around the world. Meanwhile, Marcus watched his career crumble. Studios dropped him from major franchises. Directors stopped calling. His reputation, built over 3 decades, was reduced to ashes in a matter of months. But Marcus Cole was not going to go quietly into the night. In 2019, he filed a $50 million defamation lawsuit against Victoria Lane. He claimed her op-ed was filled with lies designed to destroy his career and boost her own public image. He claimed he was never the abuser. In fact, he claimed he was the victim. The trial began on a crisp April morning in Riverside County. What was supposed to be a standard civil proceeding quickly transformed into the most watched courtroom drama in American history. Cameras were allowed inside, and millions tuned in daily to watch every single moment unfold. From the very first day, body language experts and psychologists began analyzing everything. The way Marcus sat, the way Victoria moved. Every micro-expression was dissected and discussed across social media platforms. And what they discovered was absolutely fascinating. Marcus Cole took the stand first. His attorney, a sharp and methodical lawyer named Richard Brennan, guided him through his testimony with surgical precision. Marcus spoke softly. He made eye contact with the jury. His body language was open, his shoulders relaxed, despite the gravity of the situation. When asked about the abuse allegations, Marcus paused. His voice cracked slightly as he said he had never struck a woman in his entire life. He talked about growing up watching his mother suffer at the hands of an abusive father. He described the vow he made as a young boy to never become that kind of man. Body language experts noted that Marcus exhibited genuine emotional recall. His eyes moved to the upper left when accessing memories, a sign typically associated with truthful recollection. His breathing pattern changed when discussing painful topics. His hands trembled slightly when talking about the abuse he allegedly suffered at Victoria's hands. Then came the evidence. The first bombshell was an audio recording. Marcus had secretly recorded several conversations with Victoria during their marriage. In one particularly damaging clip, Victoria could clearly be heard admitting to hitting Marcus. "I was hitting you," her voice said on the recording. "I was not punching you." When asked why she made that distinction, Victoria replied on the tape, "You're fine. I did not hurt you. I did not punch you. I was hitting you." The courtroom fell silent. The jury members exchanged glances. This was not the behavior of an abuse victim. This was something else entirely. Richard Brennan played another recording. In this one, Victoria mocked Marcus for retreating during their fights. "Tell the world, Marcus," she said with audible contempt in her voice. "Tell them that I, Victoria Lane, abused you. See who believes you." Her laughter on that recording sent chills through the courtroom. It was a cold, calculated sound. The sound of someone who believed she was untouchable. But perhaps the most damaging moment came when Victoria finally took the stand. Her attorney, a confident woman named Sarah Dawson, had prepared Victoria extensively. The strategy was clear from the beginning. Victoria would present herself as a sympathetic survivor, a woman who had been terrorized by a powerful man and was now being sued for daring to speak her truth. Victoria entered the witness box wearing minimal makeup and a soft-colored blazer. She kept her voice low and trembling. She dabbed at her eyes with tissues. Every movement seemed designed to evoke sympathy. But something was wrong. Body language experts watching the livestream immediately noticed inconsistencies. When Victoria described being struck by Marcus, her facial expressions did not match her words. She claimed to feel terror, but her eyes showed no genuine fear response. Her crying produced no actual tears. Her breathing remained steady even while describing supposedly traumatic events. At one point, Victoria described an incident where Marcus allegedly threw a phone at her face, causing severe bruising. She testified that she thought she was going to die in that moment. Her voice broke. She covered her face with her hands. But when she lowered her hands seconds later, her face was completely composed. No redness, no puffiness. No physiological signs of genuine distress. Social media exploded with commentary. Viewers began posting side-by-side comparisons of Victoria's testimony versus known examples of genuine emotional recall. The differences were stark and undeniable. Then came the cross-examination. Richard Brennan approached Victoria with calm precision. He asked her about specific dates, specific incidents, specific photographs. And with each question, Victoria's carefully constructed narrative began to unravel. Brennan presented photographs that Victoria had submitted as evidence of abuse. He then presented metadata showing those photographs had been digitally altered, colors had been enhanced, saturation had been increased. What appeared to be severe bruising in one photo looked like normal skin in the original unedited version. Victoria claimed she did not alter the photographs. She claimed she did not know how the changes occurred. But her body language betrayed her. She began touching her face repeatedly. She looked down and to the right. She crossed her arms defensively. These were textbook signs of deception. Brennan continued his assault. He presented evidence that Victoria had been arrested for domestic violence years before she ever met Marcus Cole. The arrest involved a former girlfriend who claimed Victoria had grabbed her arm and struck her during an argument at an airport. Victoria had denied the incident publicly for years, claiming it was a misunderstanding. But Brennan had obtained the original police report. He had witness statements. He had everything. Victoria's face went pale. For the first time during the trial, she appeared genuinely shaken. Her attorney objected repeatedly, but the judge allowed the evidence. Then came the testimony of the witnesses. Marcus called several people who had worked closely with the couple during their marriage. A former security guard testified that he witnessed Victoria throwing objects at Marcus on multiple occasions. He described one incident where Victoria punched Marcus in the face while screaming obscenities. A makeup artist testified that she was asked to cover bruises on Marcus's face, not Victoria's. She described seeing scratch marks and swelling that Marcus explained away as accidents. But she knew better. A former personal assistant testified that Victoria regularly belittled and humiliated Marcus in front of staff members. She described an atmosphere of fear and control, with Victoria at the center of it all. Each witness painted the same picture. Marcus Cole was not the abuser, he was the victim. Victoria's team attempted to counter with their own witnesses, but the damage had already been done. The jury had seen the recordings. They had analyzed the photographs. They had watched Victoria's testimony and noticed the inconsistencies. During closing arguments, Richard Brennan delivered a powerful summary. He reminded the jury that Marcus Cole had lost everything because of Victoria's false allegations: his career, his reputation, his peace of mind. He asked them to imagine what it would feel like to be publicly labeled a monster for crimes you never committed. Sarah Dawson fought hard for Victoria, portraying her client as a frightened woman being victimized again by a wealthy and powerful man. But her arguments felt hollow after everything the jury had witnessed. After 3 days of deliberation, the jury returned with their verdict. They found that Victoria Lane had defamed Marcus Cole with actual malice. They found that her claims of abuse were false and had caused significant damage to his career and reputation. They awarded Marcus Cole $10 million in compensatory damages and $5 million in punitive damages. When the verdict was read, Marcus sat completely still. His eyes filled with tears, but he did not cry out or celebrate. He simply nodded slowly, as if a weight had finally been lifted from his shoulders. Victoria, on the other hand, stared straight ahead with an expression that was impossible to read. Her face showed no emotion, no remorse, no acknowledgement of wrongdoing. Outside the courthouse, Marcus spoke briefly to reporters. His voice was steady but emotional. "This verdict means more to me than any award or recognition I have ever received," he said. "For 6 years, I carried the weight of accusations I knew were false. Today, the truth finally came out. I hope this case encourages others who have been falsely accused to keep fighting. The truth matters." Victoria released a written statement expressing disappointment in the verdict. She maintained that she told the truth and that the jury had failed to understand the complexities of domestic abuse. But her words rang hollow to millions who had watched every moment of the trial. In the weeks and months that followed, Marcus Cole slowly began rebuilding his life. Studios that had abandoned him started reaching out again. Directors expressed interest in working with him. His fans, many of whom had never stopped believing in him, celebrated his vindication. Victoria Lane's career, on the other hand, took a devastating hit. She was dropped from several upcoming projects. Advocacy organizations distanced themselves from her. The same public that had once praised her courage now questioned everything she had ever said. This trial became more than just a legal battle between two wealthy celebrities. It became a cultural moment that forced people to confront uncomfortable truths about false accusations, public perception, and the power of evidence over narrative. It reminded us that the truth does not always surface immediately. Sometimes it takes years. Sometimes it takes millions of dollars in legal fees. Sometimes it takes the entire world watching to finally see what was hidden all along. Marcus Cole waited 6 years for justice. And when it finally arrived, it did not come with fanfare or celebration. It came with quiet relief and the simple knowledge that his name had been cleared. So what can we learn from this extraordinary case? Perhaps the most important lesson is this: we must always be willing to look beyond the surface. We must question narratives, examine evidence, and resist the urge to rush to judgment. Because sometimes the person who cries the loudest is not the victim. Sometimes the real victim is the one who stays silent, waiting patiently for the truth to finally speak for itself. If this story moved you, hit that subscribe button and join us for more incredible courtroom stories that will leave you thinking long after the video ends. Drop a comment below and let us know what you thought of this case. And remember, in a world full of noise, the truth will always find its way into the light.